world jazz, in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
A new law is helping people save more money costs. You may also be able to save with Medicare's Extra Help program. Your premium cost can be zero and your out-of-pocket expenses are low. Who should apply? Single individuals earning less than $23,000 a year or married couples earning less than $31,000 a year. Even if you don't think you qualify, you should still check out this program. Visit ssa.gov/extra help. Medicare costs are covered by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining another episode of Real Estate and Money. We are glad to have you here, and we're going to be talking about 4th of July. Hi, Violeta.
Yay. Hi,
yes.
everyone.
We've got a red, white, blue on, don't we?
I don't. Do you see me with a background? No, because I don't have my green screen up today. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
No, I never use it. I never use a green screen, V. You should try. I never use a green screen.
It asked me to have a green screen.
But anyways, it's good to see everybody today. We are. No. Let's put background. Let's go to backgrounds. Yeah.
All right.
We want to match here. We want to both have the same fireworks in the background, that sort of thing.
Okay. Keep talking while I.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, we're talking about the 4th of July. Everybody knows this is our Independence Day here in America, and we think that everybody should celebrate the 4th of July. Everybody who has a dream of being an American and actually owning the American dream as it pertains to real estate and mortgages. Of course, Violeta helps you with the real estate to buy land here, and of course, I get you the financing for it. But 4th of July is a big time of the year, so V, we're going to talk about some of the happenings that are going on in Seattle?
Yeah, tonight, on the 4th, we've got on Commencement Day, a big fireworks display, and there's usually a lot of people around Commencement Bay, whether you're in the Reston Point area or where I am in the Dash Point, Browns Point communities. There's a lot of people with money to spend on fireworks. I believe we're on tribal land, so it's a free-for-all every year.
Actually, I don't believe you're on tribal land, but who cares?
And then, of course, there's always at the Seattle Center, the Space Needle. You'll see fireworks up there. Gasworks Park, Lake Union, a lot of fireworks in the area, and then select neighborhoods. Again, if you're on tribal land, there's a lot of fireworks going off every year, and it'll be fun for all.
Yes. Now I remember when we lived there, Federal Way. We would go up to Muckleshoot because they have what they call Boomtown. It's called Boomtown, but you can buy all your fireworks, but you have to stay there and blow them up. You can't bring them to the
same up north. There's a Boomtown up in Everett, in Marysville area. So they set off huge fireworks, right? Boomtown. That's the word.
I know. That's the word, yeah. And I know here in Colorado, we've got the city of Thornton's having stuff, the city of Brighton, we've got all the different cities around town, Castle Rock, here in Denver, there's stuff, in Aurora, Centennial. So my band is going to be playing at Pindustry this Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m., and they're going to kick off fireworks too, and that's also in Aurora. But I know here, V, I'm so used to Seattle, and there were restrictions on fireworks, they're illegal. But here it's the wild, wild west. It's the wild, wild west out here. And, every year I go up to the ridge of my neighborhood and everybody's blowing off fireworks. Beautiful fireworks, as if you were at the park or the city or Commencement Bay or something. But they're blowing up all over the neighborhood. It is literally the wild, wild west. Now, a lot of them are illegal. So make sure that, you're not doing anything illegal. Last year, Violeta, I had a friend up there in the city of Thornton. Our band played at the city of Thornton's 4th of July celebration. There was about 3,500 or 4,000 people there. And the evening, we left, but in her neighborhood, people were blowing up fireworks. And the neighbor across the street blew off a firework, and it went psh, right into her garage and broke her pinky finger. So she had to rush to the emergency. Yeah, she had to rush to emergency to take a look at her finger because, of course, it's shaking, it's messed up, and she can't get to the freeway. She can't get to the emergency because there's so many people trying to get out after the fireworks.
Oh, gee.
So
yes.
It was quite a fiasco to get her. And, of course, when we all saw her hand the next day, we all freaked out, but she wasn't doing anything but just standing by people who were setting off illegal fireworks. So you want to make sure that you are somewhere, if you're not somewhere where there's a city fireworks, where it is all commissioned and protected and everything. If you are in your neighborhood and they are shooting off fireworks, it's best for you to just stay in your house. Just stay in your house. You don't need to be out there, being party to all that in case something does happen. And I know when I first moved into my neighborhood, Violeta, this whole street, people would bring out their lawn chairs and just start shooting off fireworks, And I was in Seattle. I'm like, oh, whoa, there's trees. Hold on. And they're just sitting there popping open beers going, okay, And we're in an affluent neighborhood. This is where, normal people who love houses, but they're just sitting there with lawn chairs just shooting off fireworks. It's a wild, wild west. And so it was very scary. Now, we do have a little dog, V. We have a dog, Toro, and he also always gets freaked out on the 4th of July. So a lot of times we try to rush home and bring him, just be with him in the evening. People will shoot off fireworks here until about 1 o'clock in the morning. How about where you're at?
Yeah, definitely.
Where you're at, V? They'll be shooting off fireworks?
Yeah, yes. And my dog, the older dog, she goes behind the furthest doorway possible and hides back there. And the puppy, she's been around a year and a half, so she is kind of okay with the fireworks. Only if the other one starts a commotion will she start barking and carrying on too. But, be safe with your pets. Of course. Every year, whether dogs, cats, birds, whatever, just make sure they're safe inside. They're going to run off somewhere if you have them outside and fireworks start shooting off. So I know some people give their dogs Valium, but why do you need pills to do that? I don't know what you do, Daniel, with Linda, but we just try to keep the dogs inside and safe, as well as some young kids inside and safe. And this year we're going to have
that's exactly it.
High temperatures, so make sure if it gets really hot, maybe hose down areas like your roof. I don't know where there's more chances of something hitting your house, just to make sure you're ready with a hose and some water to douse any stray fireworks that come your way and hit the home. Yeah. I don't know.
Very smart. Yeah, I know. We here in Colorado, you can get little CBD. Yeah, here in Colorado, you can get little CBD treats for your dog. So calm down.
Calm them down.
We do that
too.
Yeah, we do that too here. Calm down, calm us down, calm them down.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize, to get I have a tracker in my dog. He's a tracker, so if he does run off, a lot of times dogs run off because they get scared, so they start running for shelter and they start running away from the sound. Make sure that your dog, it contains somewhere, that where there are. And if you have one of those dogs that are escape artists, make sure that they're tagged so that if they should run off because of fear, you can track them down. But I know here at 4th of July, it's going to be a big celebration because it's a 3-day weekend, right? It's a 3-day weekend. So everybody is off and starting celebrations on Thursday. So
get to
Costco.
Anyways,
we're just trying to celebrate the 4th of July.
Get to Costco Thursday early because there's going to be an influx of people trying to get all their burgers and hot dogs and all that for their 4th of July backyard barbecue. That's what we're going to have on the 4th of July. What are you doing for the 4th?
Yes,
celebrating with family and friends and family.
Yeah. Well, all my friends are having a party up at my friend Rachel, who got shot in the hand. She's gonna have a party, but my band, Yeah, but my band is playing at Pindustry. It's a giant venue. It's got a bar. It's got a giant bar in the middle. It's got bowling alley stuff. It's got a rooftop, and our band's going to be playing. So they usually have like 1,000 people in there. It's crazy. But then we're going to shoot off fireworks at night. We have a rooftop. So we'll be doing that. And, when we're in the band, we get like some free food and we get free drinks. So it's going to be a party for us. It's going to be a party for us.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but then the next
Awesome.
day, we're actually going to go to, we're traveling to Peonia, which is right outside of Aspen. And we're performing there at an outside venue. So that's going to be an all weekend thing. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
have
it's still up in the
fun.
mountains. There's a lot of trees up in the mountains. There's a lot of trees and nature in the mountains. So it'll be interesting to see their fireworks celebration, because I know it's not going to just be for Friday. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday that people are going to be out there shooting off fireworks. So it'll be interesting to see what they do up there.
Yes.
Very
Hopefully they
interesting.
do not set forest fires started.
No,
Right?
no. Yes.
You're camping
it's
then?
insane.
Is that what you do?
Oh
You're gonna
my
camp this
gosh, V!
weekend?
I have been camping. I went camping not this weekend, but the weekend before. I have like 37 bites on me. Mosquito bites. I don't even know. Mosquitoes, gnats. I don't know. All over me. No running water. No heat.
Oh.
We were outdoors. There was like one outhouse for like 20 or 30 people, and so nobody's using that. So it was insane. We actually had an encounter. We'd had several encounters with moose, and we found out later that more people die from moose killings than sharks in
What?
the world every year. Yes, because the moose, they come and they stomp on you. They stomp on you, and they're huge. So we had encounters with some moose, and then we had 2 encounters with bears.
Oh my.
So one of my girlfriends, they went and set up their tent in a spot that was all shady, and it looked like a cave. And they're like, "We're going to set up here," and I'm like, "No." I said, "I'm gonna go over here." So me and my other girlfriend went somewhere else, like in a meadow. And then in the morning, my friends that actually set up in that cave like area, they woke up to moose. They woke up to bears. One girl woke up at 2:00 in the morning with a bear's head on the other side of the tent. And it was after the
gee.
chocolate bar. So yeah, I was like, we all had guns and stuff because they had a shooting range up there. So, but nobody had their guns on them when we were by any animals. So I don't know what we were going to do. You can't really shoot a bear because the bullets just bounce off of them like Superman. So, so we were just we were roughing it. But there's nothing little Jack Daniels and tequila can't heal. But we were by the river, and it was beautiful. My friend actually sold 40 acres up there in Boulder County, and we actually camped on the grounds the weekend before he sold it. So that was really nice. But as far as camping is concerned, you got to bring water. We had gallons and gallons and gallons of water up there. We had safety this and safety that. We had first aid kits and everything. And of course, it got down to 40 to 50 degrees in the evening. So it was tremendously cold. And that was more frightening than the bears and the moose. But we made it through. And we made it through. And so anyways, if you're going camping for the 4th of July, gear up. Get your water. Make sure that you get your clothing, because in the mountains it gets really, really cold at night. Bring enough food.
Mosquito repellent.
It's mosquito. Oh my gosh! I sprayed that stuff everywhere on my clothes. It makes no difference. They'll bite you right through your clothes. So don't think that I got long pants on. I got long sleeves. They will bite right through it. Right? They don't care.
Because you're so sweet.
Oh God, maybe. I didn't know I was that sweet, But I think one day I escaped. Me and my other girlfriend escaped for a little bit. We went down to the city. It was like a 45-minute drive to the city. And we hit like 3 of the bars. And then we went back up. They went back up. I just said, I don't know what happened. I don't know where the time went. But but
that to me would be fun.
What was
years ago we would camp as a family. Too many, 6 kids, my parents, maybe a dog or 2. And now my way of camping, I'll be at the nearest hotel. Call me when you guys are ready to do the, campfire and all that stuff. I'll come down.
I tell you what. Yeah, I was with some warriors. I had some warrior princesses there because they wanted to go night hiking. They wanted to go chasing bears and moose and stuff. So I'm with you, V. If you were in the middle there, we would have escaped for a couple of days. Came back drunk from the winery. We would have escaped. But we did have fun. We'd have fun. And I did not look like this. I guarantee you, I did not look like this.
I can't see you.
Like this.
I can't see you as usual, so I'm sure you look beautiful, and that would not be camping attire. I'm sure.
I was just no. But but like for 4th of July, that's when people like get out and they start doing the whole camping thing, and it is a lot of fun. I mean, there was no cell phone service out there, so we were like smoke signaling everything. There was just no cell phone service, so that was kind of like that was interesting. But we had a great time. But if you're going out for the 4th of July weekend, make sure you get out early, and on your way back, you're going to have to get out early because there's going to be so much traffic. On the way back.
That is a problem these days. You already have traffic, 24/7 in this area. Why go out and be really stuck in traffic trying to get away from all the well, if you're going to like gasworks, oh my gosh, around Lake Union, good luck to get out of that area. So what we always now stay here because our view is amazing. We have a great fireworks show right in front, on the water here. And I'm going to have my sister and her family are in town from California, her entire family.
Oh, wow. Nice.
7, 10 of them. And then friends and family here. So they're coming for a backyard barbecue. We'll have, the cornhole toss, lawn darts, whatever, a piñata probably for the kids.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Water balloons. I'm sure it's going to be hot and it'll be fun. And then the kids are going to go back to their place and so they can sleep their usual 7 p.m. bedtime.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the parents hang out and have drinks and, party a little bit longer.
Then that's nice about being home. You can drink to your heart's content, and you're home. You don't have to drive anywhere. There's going to be a lot of crazies out on the street. Yeah. So if you can stay home, I think that is the best idea. Or be at somebody's house. I think that is the best idea.
Yeah.
So it comes back to we're talking about if you are somebody who does a lot of entertaining, like Violeta does entertaining. I do entertaining. When you buy a house, make sure you think about that. I have some friends who always want us to come over, and there's nowhere to sit. There's nowhere to sit. There's, they don't have a dining room, and they're like, oh my gosh, you should have got a bigger house. So if you do entertain and you've got people coming in town, don't get chintzy. Go ahead and find something with an extra bedroom, like a spare bedroom, because you've got several, right?
Yeah,
you've got room.
There's 3 bedrooms with en suites, all of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See?
And then a big yard.
Make sure you got people coming over. Make sure you got a place that you can entertain. Got a beautiful yard. Yes, V's got a beautiful yard, beautiful flowers, and she's got a nice patio. So people come and they can enjoy.
Yeah.
But I think you were thinking ahead though, V, because I know you remodeled your house. You're going to have people over. Share the love. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know. Yes.
So yeah, me too. You come into my house. Yeah.
And then, we were talking
I chose my house thinking that there's going to be people in here.
4th of July, we're thinking, people want to come here from other countries, definitely land of opportunity. And when they get here, what do they want to do is, get a house, probably.
Yes.
As soon as they can.
So we were talking about that earlier. And, there are so many loans that you can get here. There used to be loans with HB1 status. I'm not quite sure if the administration just changed that as of like a couple of days ago. But if you are trying to come to the United States, you want to buy property here, and you're a permanent resident alien, even if you're a non-permanent resident alien, there are still avenues for you out there. You have got conventional loans, MVA loans, and FHA loans. And those are basically they're the more conservative loans, conventional loans. But there are other loans out there in the world that are not Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, or VA. There are other loans. Those are called non-QM loans. And so we've got like 4 national loans. I'll just read you here. 4 national loans go up to $2 million. Credit score down to 680. We can do investment properties, and a valid visa is required. So if you have a visa, you can buy property here. And so I get a lot of people from Canada. I always have doing loans in Seattle that say, hey, I don't have any credit I don't have any credit in the United States. Well, we can pull Canadian credit reports. So we can pull that. I had a lot of people from the Philippines that came over, and they have like several businesses in the Philippines. They want to buy
Right.
property in Lakewood or Steilacoom or something like that. We could actually pull credit reports there and here, and actually could do verifications of employment in the Philippines, verifications of employment in Canada. And I was doing that 20, 25 years ago. So if you did come from a different country, you're established there, you come here, it's not United States credit that you need only. It's just credit, period. And so we can do even work verifications. I remember calling up establishments in the Philippines and faxing them verification of employment, and getting things signed through the embassy. So if you are from another country and you come here and you stay here, you want to buy a house here, it's not off limits. I know that this current administration is giving a difficult time to people who are coming from different countries. But if you want to get a home, give us a call. Sometimes the ordinary banks, like the Bank of this in the world, these, I don't want to say their names or anything, but a lot of the banks out there, they do conventional loans primarily, and they do FHA and VA, and they do them very well. But people like me who are mortgage brokers, we can do things that are kind of off the grid. Of course, these are all legal programs. They still are audited by the government, or it's still audited by the Federal Reserve. However, there's some loans out there, and like ITIN loans. Violeta, we've got
Yes.
ITIN
I
loans.
asked you
Those
about
are,
that. Yeah.
Yes, individual tax identification numbers. And right now, that is the strongest loan in the United States currently. These
Really?
clients never default. They don't default. Number one, they always you have to put 10 to 20% down. And usually if somebody has 10 or 20% to put down cash, the chances of them defaulting are they're very low, because it's a credit qualifier. So if you are here, you've got a letter from the IRS, which is an individual tax identification number, which allows you to report taxes underneath that number, and you don't have a Social Security number yet. We can do those loans. We can do those full documentation, like W-2s, pay stubs, tax returns, or we can do bank statements. We can do investment properties, anything that you may have. And so if you're from a foreign country and you have an ITIN or an individual tax identification number, give me a call. We do those all day long. And in fact, I believe Fannie Mae is starting to do ITIN loans too. So it's don't quote me on that, but I believe Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are expanding into that market. So and I said here. So are you a foreign national dreaming of owning a home in the United States? Don't let traditional mortgage limitations hold you back. Okay, that's what one of my flyers say here. So you've got a lot of people. They come in. They work for Amazon. They work for Google. They work for these big corporations, and they come from different countries like Kuwait, or they come from Brazil. Or they come from somewhere. And a lot of times they're working off of a visa, or they're working off of a work contract. A lot of them have valid work IDs, or they have working cards, green cards, what have you. We can use that as verification. So if you have money, you have income, and you have a will, get to somebody like me, and we can give you a loan. There are so many loans that in Bellevue, so many houses in Bellevue, so many houses in Federal Way, so many houses in Steilacoom, so many houses in Issaquah, people who have came from foreign countries, whether it's Canada, the Philippines, it doesn't make a difference, Kuwait, or India, and they come to this country and they buy a lot of houses. So if you are in that boat or whatever, you want to celebrate independence, you want to celebrate being an American citizen or being part of the American dream, give me a call. Let's get a house. Let's get a house. And what I find, Violeta, there's a lot of people who are Americans. They're like 16th generation Americans, and they own one or two houses. And then we get some people who come here from different countries, and immediately they have 8 houses. They just keep buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. My mother came and she bought, I think one time she had 3 houses here and an apartment building here in Seattle. She had a 5th grade education, but she came here and she wanted to buy. And so she made sure all of us kids started buying houses. So a lot of times, more often than not, if you do have a dream and a drive, that's the difference. Sometimes the separation is the drive and the ambition. You get with somebody like me and you get a good realtor like Violeta and go out there, not only buy one house, buy as many as you can. So when you're 60, 70 years old, you're sitting pretty, all you're doing is living off of your rent and living off the equity of the houses you obtained. So, let's all celebrate the American dream. 4th of July isn't just for people who've been here, it's for people who newly came to this country. Let's go. What's holding you back? Let's go.
Well, was that it?
That's okay. We got a few more minutes.
We have 3 more minutes. Okay, but
all we need is income, put your credit report, report, and let's go from there.
Yeah, and here we are. Tina and I have several things going on right now, and some of them are non-conforming loans. She'll get them through. There's always issues with people's credit scores or their work history, but we'll help you get through all these hurdles. So if you don't know, you got to ask somebody. Ask us what it is that you need to do.
Yeah.
And we'll help you through.
Violeta knows. She'll refer people to me that say, I don't know if I qualify. And they qualify for like $18 billion. It's like, yes, you qualify, and they never knew. A lot of times you just don't know. Maybe maybe you don't qualify for 1.5, but maybe you qualify for 1.2, or maybe you thought you qualified for 800 and now you qualify for 1.4. So, it's like you don't want to self-diagnose yourself when you're sick. You go to an expert, and that's what we do. We can tell you exactly, pinpoint how much you qualify for, and we can tell you, this is where you want to buy, this is where you want to buy, this is what you need.
Yeah.
But, if you just do it on your own, that's great. But, why not hire people, or why not work with people who do this for a living and they have licenses? And, you don't have to pay these people. You don't have to pay me up front. You have to pay Violeta up front. We're like free. And when you find the property, that's when we actually draw in, that's when we pay or something when you find the property.
Yes. Uh-huh.
But to pull your credit and do all that fun stuff, a lot of banks do charge. A lot of real estate companies do require a commitment, but we don't. We are here to help the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, this holiday weekend, your 3-day weekend, be safe out there. Enjoy with your friends and family, whatever it is you're doing. We're having smash burgers, potato salad, beans, baked beans, and all kinds of sides and desserts. And there will always be a lot of food, as you know. Filipinos, they overdo with everything. And
has to.
And
we have to.
A lot, and make sure you buy enough so that people can take stuff home.
Absolutely.
I buy containers so that people can take stuff home.
I know my containers are gone. My containers are gone because everybody's taking them. But I think we have an announcement. Let me see here. Jazz Funk Soul. Jazz Funk Soul will be guests on Street Beat tonight at 5:30 p.m. So you don't want to miss that. Here we go. What do we got? There we go here. Featuring Jazz Funk Soul. That's amazing. July 1st at 5:30 p.m. Rainier Avenue Radio. So make sure you turn in. It sounds like a great time.
Absolutely. Well, we should just go ahead and sign off, right?
There we go. Yes. If you have any questions between now and next Tuesday, give us a call. A lot of times when people are out there partying, there are houses on the market being waiting for somebody to put an offer on them. So go ahead and find them.
Hopefully today, Tina and I will be setting off fireworks because we're going to close on a deal. We're going to go mutual on a contract that we've worked on together. So wish us luck. We wish you all the best holiday weekend. And we'll see you next Tuesday at 2:30. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel.